Well, Borderlands has been around for about 15 years at this point. I think the first game came out back in 2009. Boy, I was like about 13 years old when that came out. I used to play the game on a GT210 and a dual-core processor back in the days. And now we're in 2025 with Borderlands 4 with a lot of issues. So in today's video, we're going to be testing out all the Borderlands, the main ones, from 1 to 4 on the RTX 5060 max out settings. Just gonna go all the way to the max and see how the games perform. And you may be asking why a 5060 and not a high-end card, because this is gonna be the most popular used card by the end of next year. 60 series card, no matter what it is, 1060, 2060, it's always the 60 series card, the mid-range card, that are usually the most popular in Steam charts, because it's more budget friendly. So yeah, this is going to be the most popular card by the end of next year, so it made more sense. So along the way, we can see how the games have progressed over the years. The engine that's used on is mostly Unreal Engine, but the visuals, how the performance holds up and everything, and see if there was any need for Borderlands 4 to be this bad. So I already did a video on the 5060 a couple of days ago, so if you want to check that out, it's going to be up in the video somewhere, so feel free to check that out, okay? And it's going to be paired up with the 9800 XVD and 64 GB of DDR5 memory running at 6000 megahertz. Everything will be on the screen, so yeah, we're going to go absolutely crazy with the system specs. So that we're not holding anything down. Let's see how demanding these games have come over the years. Let's start off with Borderlands 1. Yeah, now we're in Borderlands 1. We're going to be maxing it out, like I said, and 4K, because why not? So we are in the Enhanced Edition, the Game of the Year Enhanced version. It has improved visuals. They tweaked a little bit of things on the visual side of things. So also heard that it has some memory leak issues, but the game looks pretty good. And you can see on 4K maxed out settings, we can get close to 140 to 150 FPS, which is really good. And man, I miss killing these skags. And right off the bat, after playing Borderlands 4, I noticed that the gunplay feels so different. It feels so rigid compared to Borderlands 4, because the movement is way more advanced. And this is where they was figuring out things back in the days. But regardless of all those things, the game still looks, it still holds up if you take a look at it. And it's still fun. I could just play this game again for hours on end if I really wanted to, because the gameplay is just that fun. And you can see the game looks pretty good. And if Borderlands 4 looked the same, I wouldn't be mad, because you don't need to add all of these extra lighting and all of that to make a game like this look good because of the art style. You know what I'm saying? So a 5060, absolutely able to nail the game on 4K maxed out settings. And yeah, the memory leak issue, I could see it happening after I played it for like half an hour or something. I noticed a little bit of FPS drop, like you can see here. So we started at 140 or something like that, and now we are down to 110. See, it's even dropping down into the 90s and stuff. So it was happening in between with a little bit of stuttering. So I understand people complaining about this version of the game. I didn't try out the other one. I finished this game way back. I had an actual physical disc when I had the game, and I finished the game. So this is the first time I'm ever playing the game on Steam, and going through all these missions gave me a lot of nostalgia and memories, when I was a teenager. So it was a blast, man. Borderlands 1 holds a lot of memories. So yeah, it works absolutely perfectly fine on the 5060, and just max it out on 4K and have a blast. Okay, so Borderlands 1 laid the foundation for an amazing franchise. It's still one of my favorite looter shooter games of all time. There's no other game that has the same kind of gun variety like Borderlands, and that's the sole reason I love the game. They used to call it gun porn. Do you remember that? Yeah, the game has a lot of guns. So Borderlands 1 was a breeze for the 5060. Now let's jump into Borderlands 2. I'd say this was the best in the franchise. That's because of Handsome Jack and how awesome of a villain he is. And this game was way bigger, more ambitious, with even better gunplay. So let's see how it holds up with the RTX 5060. You can see everything is maxed out again on 4K. So just keep this in mind. This is an Unreal Engine 3 again. but a modified version. This game came out in 2012, 13 years ago. Wow, it's been a long time. And you can see the game still performs about the same because it's still Unreal Engine 3, even though it's a little bit modified. You're getting pretty much same kind of performance. And this is in the earlier stages of the game, but it still stays about the same on throughout the entire game. Can't be mad about that. You can see we're only using about 3 GB of video memory. If this was back in 2012, you probably need a 690 to even pull this off. I think 690 came out in 2012, the 600 series. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be possible on 4K to get this type of performance. But yeah, it only requires 3 GB of memory for 4K maxed out settings. See, the game still looks really good, even in these fight scenes and all of that. The textures still kind of hold up because of the shader style, art style. And yeah, man, the game is amazing. And during this fight scene, I remembered how hard it was actually to get some kills. And if you just try to go and then get some kills, you're gonna get your ass kicked. And it is what it is. So one thing that I remember is like this game has less auto aim and aim assist compared to Borderlands 1, where if you scope in, the game just tends to lock in aggressively, try to take control of your mouse. But in this game, it's more like you're controlling the gun instead of the game. So they improved on that aspect, which is one of the reasons it feels so good to play as well. And yeah, absolutely amazing experience. This game doesn't have any memory leak issues or anything, so really amazing on 4K. One of my favorite FPS games of all time is Borderlands 2. I had a ton of fun playing this game with my homies when I was in college. We used to just come back from college, sit in our dormitory, and then play the game for the entire night, wake up late, brings me a lot of memories. Man, I missed this game. And now 7 years later, yeah, it took them 7 years to make Borderlands 3. And it shows. This game is one of my favorite in the series. I think second favorite so far, because I haven't finished Borderlands 4 yet. But this game, I spent the most hours playing. I think I have like over 100 hours because I maxed out one character to the max, level 72. And for the legendary loots, man, this game has the best guns that I've seen so far, and it was totally a blast. This game allowed you to explore more universe, like more planets and stuff. You just zoom out from the map, pick another location, drop in, fast travel. And man, this game was so good. And this game came out in 2019. And one more thing, it had some performance issues when it launched, but they fixed it. And this was made in Unreal Engine 4, so of course way more intensive than Unreal Engine 3. So let's see how the game performs on the RTX 5060 again and maxed out. And this is the first time they introduced badass settings in Borderlands. Let's see how it performed. So again, we are starting it off on 4K as usual. Let's see if we can hold up. Everything is maxed out. This is DirectX 11. I didn't try DirectX 12 yet, so I wouldn't want to because the game pretty much looks similar on 12 and 11. But on DirectX 12, you will lose some performance. Okay, so I wouldn't want to do that. But there you go. This is 4K, getting 40 something FPS, maxed out. And this is really intensive when you look at these glowing images. This makes your mouth drool because, it's legendary guns. The thing is, I've gotten pretty much all the guns that I needed in the game. So, oh man, like putting this game back after like 3 or 4 years, it did put a smile on my face. I had to copy the Thanos dialogue. Yeah, man, it did. See, you can even get up to 60 FPS, close to 60 FPS. We're on 4K settings, man. The thing that I don't understand is like, if they kept the same visuals, I know they had to jump to Unreal Engine 5 for Borderlands 4, but they just kept the same visuals for Borderlands 4, I wouldn't be so mad. Because this game still works and looks as beautiful as the latest game. I know there's a better advanced lighting in the latest game, but this game looks super good. And we wouldn't be mad. We wouldn't be able to tell the difference unless you put it side by side and say, yeah, this is a new game, this is the old game. The game looks really good on maxed out badass settings. So And you can see you're still getting close to 50 FPS out here. And this is a 5060, guys. And you can see the GPU memory usage is pretty much maxed out because this is a pretty recent title, if you ask me. 7 years ago. It's pretty recent. And yeah, I can play the game like this if I really wanted to. But the thing is, if you actually get down to the ground and like have a gunfight, you can drop down from 50s to maybe the 30s because there's a lot of effects, particle effects. Like, for example, I'm using this RPG. This thing shoots up like a bajillion different ammo all over the field. It looks super cool. It looks badass. You know, the amount of dopamine I get playing this game is insane. So yeah, that's how it is on 4K. We're not getting 60 FPS, so I just decided to go down to 4040p, not changing any settings. So this is still 4040p and see how difference. See the difference. We are getting 100 plus FPS on the same settings. And the game still looks pretty sharp. And this is when there was no DLSS or any of that upscaling stuff or frame gen or anything. See how good the game looks? This is all we are asking for. There's no input lag, no artifacting, nothing. And the game still looks crisp, even on 1440p. And still getting more than 100 FPS on a 60 series card. I know it's a latest 60 series card, but you see where I'm going with this? Like, you can still play games like this if the game is optimized. You don't need a lot of advanced technology to make a game look good, right? And I just wanted to go and check one of my favorite places in the game, the Athenas. And this place looks beautiful, these vibrant colors and everything. And just look at this. And just blast enemies with a lot of effects. I just love this game, man. It just gives me that adrenaline pump that no other game can give. You know, because the weapons are so cool. Even though the performance, it stutters here and there. They're going absolutely bonkers with these weapons. It's still playable. And this is badass settings. The game looks super good too. Borderlands 3, man, one of my all-time favorite Borderlands games. After Borderlands 2, of course. We'll be doing a side-by-side comparison with this and Borderlands 4 to see how far it actually changed. But yeah, amazing game to play, even in 2019. If you haven't played this game, man, just go and check it out. It's amazing, and it comes on sale for like $5 to $10. Just grab it, have a blast. Yeah, if you just bump your resolution down to 1440p, you can max it out, have more than 100 FPS, and have lots of fun. So that's Borderlands 3. And now we're finally on Borderlands 4. The latest entry in the series, with a lot of stuff going on the performance side of things. And the game is insanely good, even better than Borderlands 3. I know the Borderlands 3's only downside was the story and the characters. It was annoying and corny, and yeah, I don't care about any of that. Because I'm just a fan of the gunplay, and that's it. So it doesn't matter. Gunplay on the guns. So it didn't matter much to me. I just didn't bother with the story that much. But Borderlands 4 story pretty much is miles better, is what I heard. But one thing that sucks is that it's Unreal Engine 5, and the performance is terrible. Because I know I tested the game out on a bunch of different systems. With a 5080, I was not even able to get 60 FPS on 1440p maxed out. So yeah, that's another thing. And our message to Randy Pitchford, the CEO of Gearbox. You gotta shut the fuck up, bro. You really need to. You're the CEO of a company. They're giving you money to play your game. And you're coming back at your audience or your customers saying you're too broke to have a really good PC to play your new game. Really, bro? In 2025, you need a 5090 to play a game on 1080p maxed out? Is that what you're saying? Have you ever played a game called Kingdom Come Deliverance 2? I don't think you have. That game doesn't require any of this stuff, and it looks miles better, realistic, and it can run on any potato, 60 FPS, even 4040p. But yeah, enough of the rant. Let's see how the game performs on the 5060. I already did a complete benchmark on the card on the 5060, so if you want to check that out, it's going to be up there somewhere. But let's see the actual advancement of the games from 3 to 4. So 6 years later, we are in Borderlands 4, Unreal Engine 5 title, and we are on 4K again. So we were able to get 50-something FPS on Borderlands 3. Absolutely gorgeous game. And unfortunately, in Borderlands 4, see, I'm even struggling to navigate through the menu after turning into 4K and badass settings. So you can see I'm on 4 FPS, stable 4 FPS. That's what you can get on 4K maxed out 6 years later after Borderlands 3. Unreal Engine 4 to Unreal Engine 5 shift. Here you go, from 50 FPS to 5 FPS. How great, isn't it? I know the lighting looks better in this game, but apart from that, I don't see a huge jump in performance or, I mean, visual fidelity because it's because of the art style pretty much. So 4K is not playable at all. Just forget 4K on a 5060. So I changed it back to 1440p. It took me about another 2 minutes just to navigate and go back to 1440p. But here we are. From 4 to 19 FPS. This is in native settings. Okay, you guys saw how it was on Borderlands 3. We're getting 100 FPS on badass settings with the 5060. But on this game, it's 15. Man. And it's maxing out the GPU, obviously. And it's dropping down from 19 to 14 FPS when you're in a gunfight. Just even crazier. So according to Randy Pitchford, just turn on DLSS, because that's how you optimize games these days. Just don't care about the native settings at all. Just go ahead, turn on DLSS and frame gen, and boom, you have a perfectly working game. And he says people are not sensitive to frame gen input lag or anything. Nobody noticed that. Did you test the game out with a 90-year-old grandpa? How can you not notice frame gen input lag? If you're a guy like me, I'm like almost 30 now. I notice things like that and also artifacting immediately when I see that. We'll get into that in a bit. So absolutely terrible on 1440p DLSS. I mean, 1440p native badass. So I decided to go to 1080p. 1080p maxed out settings again, and what do you see now? Any changes? Nope. From 14 to 22. That's all you can get. So even on 1080p, you're not even getting close to 30 FPS when you max the game out. Ah man, I don't know. This is what I'm saying. You don't need a lot of visual fidelity changes when the game looks like this. What the performance of this game reminded me is Monster Hunter Wilds. Remember that game? How bad that was? Yeah. But compared to that game, this game looks clearer, because Monster Hunter Wilds was so terribly muddy with its textures and everything, but this game looks way more sharper. At least that's a good point. And I guess it's the open world with a huge map that makes the game unplayable like this. It has to load a lot of textures in. Whoever's coding these things on Unreal Engine 5, just do a better job, man. It's not that hard. I mean, we are paying money, $80 for this game. Just put that money to use. Wait. So since native settings will not get a 60 FPS, I had to turn on DLSS performance. And even that will not get us proper 60 FPS. So DLSS performance on 1080p means we are upscaled from 540p. The game looks sharp enough because this is DLSS 4. It looks pretty sharp, but this is not still a 60 FPS experience maxed out. See all the hurdles that we had to jump across just to get to 60 FPS on this game? That's insane. You know what I'm saying? So still not able to get 60 FPS, so I just had to go and turn on frame gen on 2x, and that will definitely put us into the 60 FPS category. And just to show you guys the downsides of the frame gen, had to go and turn on Steam overlay on the top. You just notice that. So the FG metrics is the actual frame gen frames that you can get, all the fake frames, and the FPS, that's the actual FPS the game is running on, is 31. So even though the fake frames gives you 60, 70 FPS on paper, you're still playing the game on 30 FPS base. So the experience is still similar to 30 FPS gaming. So, and he's saying you're not gonna notice any input lag. Come on, bro. It's obvious. It's super obvious. Okay, and that's how it is on 2x frame gen. We are absolutely in the 60 FPS category now. So you see what all we had to do. We had to turn on DLSS to performance, so it's actually on 540p, and then you had to create fake frames 2 times to actually get to 60 FPS in a modern title with the 5060. So that's insane. And this is 1080p. And now we're gonna go to 3x frame gen. So now it's at close to 100 to 106 FPS. So 100 FPS, it looks good on paper, but it feels like shit. And one more thing about frame gen, that it just requires more VRAM as well. You know, so on 8 GB cards, you're hurting the performance even more. It's gonna be more stuttery. You can feel that. Now we're finally on 4x frame gen, getting 140 FPS, 160 FPS. I'm like, wow, I'm getting a lot of FPS now. But really, it's not that great. It still feels like 30 FPS gameplay. That's about it. Like if you're playing on a keyboard and mouse, if you're a sensitive guy like me, and the artifacting is definitely there, and you move your mouse around or you scope in and look around, you can see the artifacting, and it's a visual disturbance. So that's modern gaming in 2025. I just don't get people defending this type of crap, man. I just don't. Just make the games good. Just make it playable. Why is that so hard? You're getting all the money from us, and all this day one patches and all that bullshit. Like, it never used to be a thing back in the days, because back in the days you only used to have physical copies. You know what I mean? And if the game is broken, the game is broken. They're gonna just refund the game, and you're gonna go bankrupt. If nobody's gonna play the game. That's how easy it was. There was no pre-ordering, none of that bullshit. So just to give you an idea how things have come. So yeah, it was a fun video to make. So that's it, man. That's Borderlands 1 to 4 on the RTX 5060. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And let me know your comments and thoughts in the comment section. What do you think? Is it a justifiable thing to have this kind of performance dip in just a few years with minimal visual uplift in a game like Borderlands? And is it worth it buying a game like this in such a terrible state? Let me know everything that you guys think of, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. I hope you guys are having a great time wherever you are, and peace out.